Hello, and welcome to Digital Transformation for Humans with your host, Amy. In this podcast, we delve into how technology intersects with leadership, innovation, and most importantly, the human spirit. Each episode features visionary leaders who understand that at the heart of success is the human touch, nurturing a winning mindset, fostering emotional intelligence, and building resilient teams. This episode will focus on unlocking human potential in the era of artificial intelligence. We are going to dive into the intersection of passion, creativity, and inner power. Today, I have the privilege of welcoming world renowned artist Vilas Nayak from Bangalore, India. We met at the prestigious President Summit for Leaders in Copenhagen, Denmark, earlier this year, and I was profoundly moved by his unforgettable performance, something that deeply touched my soul and left a very special memory. Known for his mesmerizing live shows, having performed close to 1,000 times in 38 countries, Vilas uses his magical brushstrokes to spread powerful messages of peace and harmony. In a matter of minutes, he transforms blank canvases into stunning masterpieces, captivating audiences worldwide. Welcome, Vilas. I'm so happy to see you here today.
Hello, Amy. Thank you so much, first of all, for having me here. Yes, it was wonderful meeting you in Denmark. That was a beautiful event, and I remember, you and all the audience, you all encouraged me. You all liked it, so glad that I'm here having this conversation with you.
So am I. It's been an amazing event, and it was great to meet you. Let's start the conversation and transform not just our technologies, but our ways of thinking and leading. And if you are interested in connecting or collaborating, you can find more information in the description. Subscribe and stay tuned for more episodes. Vilas, to start with, I would love to hear a little bit more of your story. This is an amazing story of success and connection with your inner mission, with your inner power, and such an amazing alignment with your incredible talent. So please tell a little bit more about how you came to this place in your life.
So I started sketching when I was just 3 year old. I used to live in a small village in India. This was in 1990s, right? There was not much of, we are talking about AI and all the other technological advances now. But then back then, there was not even a television in our house, in my house at least. So what do you do with all the free time that you have? Like you either go out and play with your friends, or maybe I was a very introvert kid. So I would stay back at home, and I remember I used to sketch, paint throughout the day. My mom used to literally remind me to have food on time. So I was so involved in my passion, my craft, and well, it continued. I was also I was good in studies, so academics. So my parents and all the teachers, they were like, okay, why don't you just start working, earn some livelihood for your family, which I did. I worked as a human resource officer in Bangalore for a couple of multinational companies. After working for about 6 years in the world of corporates, I realized, like somewhere I'm not fulfilling my childhood dream, which was to be an artist. It wasn't about making money or whatever it is. I mean, I didn't know what I could do as an artist. I mean, what benefit the world will give me. But all I knew was that I want to be an artist and I want to paint throughout my life. So to fulfill that promise, I went on to a couple of reality shows here in India. I did these massive live artworks in a matter of few minutes. What you see is one of my live artworks. This is a Kathakali, which is a dance art form in India, very colorful. So something like this, I paint on stage in a matter of just few minutes, and the audiences liked it. So I got a huge break during 2011, and that's when a huge shift happened in my life. I quit my corporate job to follow my passion. Now it's been 13 plus years. I've got an opportunity to travel the world, meet wonderful people, and learn from them.
This is such an inspiring story. And for everybody who is in the corporate world but is on the fence and thinking, should I stay or should I go? You are the inspiration and a good reminder that everything is possible. The sky is the limit. You've been involved in many prestigious global events, from performing for world leaders like the Dalai Lama and Tiger Woods to showcasing your talent at Asia's Got Talent, India's Got Talent, Spain's Got Talent, NBA Halftime, the Formula One Awards in Paris, and the United Nations headquarters, as well as contributing to fundraising of social causes. Can you share more about these experiences and how they have shaped your views on creativity, innovation, and leadership?
Um, Initially, when I started off doing these kind of shows, had an opportunity to meet some of these personalities whom I always looked up to. It was I was awestruck. I know, but those experiences, especially in terms of leadership, like I remember meeting Dr. A.P.J. Abdul Kalam, who was a great scientist here in India, and he was also the president of India. He's no more, but then I remember how he treated me and all the other artists, and it was such an amazing learning experience. Despite being at such high positions in his life, he was sitting on the edge of his seat to watch me and other people perform. It was captured on the video and the pictures when I look at it. So somebody who is so curious to learn even after achieving so much in his life, he made a point to talk about us in his speech. So for me, it was a great learning experience to meet some of these leaders, like also Pele, the Dalai Lama. I think it's just the fact that how they choose to appreciate your act, how they interact with you. I think makes a huge difference. So I remember these couple of personalities about how they treated me. More than their achievements. Obviously, when you meet them, how they treat you, I think makes a huge difference. So very thankful for those experiences. In terms of creativity and innovation, I think these stage shows has taught me that um, even if you have 500 odd super hit shows behind you, the next show is always a new one. You can't sit on your laurels saying that, oh, I'm going to go on stage without much practice or preparations. No, that's not going to happen. Each and every show is new, and there is always a need to push the boundaries, because now people have seen me performing on all these shows. So every time I go on stage, there is a new expectations. And I think more not from the audience, but it is an expectation that I have with myself, because I am the best critic of my artwork. Sometimes the audiences give me a standing ovation, but then I know that I have made that mistake, and I come backstage and I'll be like feeling sad about it, because as an artist, I have a very clear objective view about my paintings. And yeah, I want to improvise each and every time I go on stage. I think in terms of innovation, because you're performing live in front of the audience, there is a need for me to capture their imagination, make them glued to your canvas throughout that couple of minutes of act. Because in this world of where we are quite used to swiping up reels in a matter of 30 seconds, how do you make that person sit for about at least 5 minutes to watch your act? So it has to be interesting, and I think, yeah, that's when these learnings come into picture. Yeah.
Amazing. And you touched upon so many important topics, and I've been thinking it's true, people will forget what you said, but people will never forget how they were feeling in your company. And the attention span is just getting shorter and shorter, and it is not obvious to keep that attention and all eyes on you. But in this sense, I saw how people was following those 5 minutes you was painting, and it was absolutely incredible. And sometimes you do it even faster on the live shows. So I know for sure that it is absolutely impossible to lose focus, lose concentration when you are performing.
Thank you.
And
Thank you for your kind words.
And coming back to your story of being in the corporate world and having successful positions, you left a successful corporate career to pursue your passion for art. How did you reconnect with your creativity and incredible talent? And how did it transform your life? And what role did your corporate experience overall play in shaping this artistic journey?
Yeah, I think the corporate life, I'll talk about that first, really helped me. Now, when I get a chance to travel all over the world and perform, meet a lot of people, because if you remember, I said I was an introvert kid, and I had obviously no intention to get into a profile like human resources that requires you to interact with human beings all the time. So it was completely against my nature as a personality to actually go out and talk to people. But then that kind of pushed my boundary in the corporate world for about 6 years, made me comfortable to actually interact with people. I think a lot of artists are very introvert. At least I have a lot of friends who are painters who like to keep it to themselves and inside four walls create beautiful artworks. Whereas for me, it requires to go on the stage and then create this artwork live in front of people. So I think in that way, corporate work experience really helped me. But what really helped me to reconnect with myself, with my creativity before actually quitting my corporate job, was the fact that I took at least few years. Every day I would come back from office and sit and talk to myself, what we call as introspection, right? So I would ask myself that my profile at one of these MNCs while I was working there was talent management. So I'm like, I'm managing the talent of these employees. I'm actually going through their profile to see what is their strength, what is their weakness. It's basically a SWOT analysis, right? So why don't I apply on myself? When I did that, I'm like, I mean, I have this talent of painting from childhood. I always wanted to be an artist, and my strength is actually to paint fast. Why not convert my strength into my USP or my brand? So this was during 2009. These kind of introspective talk, the time that I had with myself, talking to myself, led to a kind of dissatisfaction within me, where I really wanted to break out of that zone and actually do something in the world of art. I was not doing enough. I think that realization many people may not have, because we are too busy in the fast paced life. We are just running every day, get up, go to office, come back, of course, have fun, weekends, meet your family, friends. So before you realize, already 5 years is gone or 10 years is gone. And then you realize, oh my God, it's been 10 years. That was my realization that, this boy who lived in a small village, I was like, once I'm in a bigger city like Bangalore or Mumbai or Delhi, I will get good opportunities in the world of art and I will do something. But then I was already in Bangalore for about 10 years and nothing happened. So, I decided to take things, actually do something about it. And I think that really helped me, the introspection that I had a chance to do. I think this is, I always say all the youngsters now, because now we can connect with people sitting in, like you're sitting in a different part of the world, I'm sitting here in India. It takes a matter of couple of seconds to online, we can connect, talk to each other. But then, do we really take that time out to talk to ourselves? Not many people actually do that. I think the moment we do it is when we realize who we really are, and because each and every person is unique, who I am and what I really want to become. Of course, I can work anywhere. I have different talents. I can work in a corporate. I can work as a teacher, whatever. But then, what does really make me happy? For me, the answer was painting would really make me happy. And then I took that decision, and I think I'm really glad I did that. Yeah.
It is absolutely amazing. And thinking about the why people is avoiding tapping into those difficult questions. I had a very interesting conversation with one of my friends, and he is the C-level leader in one of the biggest corporations in the world. And I asked him, but why? Why do you think everybody is so deeply into the career, into everything what is outside of the questions like who am I? What do I really want? And what is the next step? What can I do for myself? Exactly what you mentioned. And we were talking about it for a while and came down to the conclusion that actually it's very painful to open up the door, because as you mentioned that you started feeling that dissatisfaction. That's
Yeah.
exactly what everybody starts
Yeah.
feeling. The
Yes.
first time you open the door, it is actually a very dark place to be. It is a scary place to be. And only the brave dare stay in there and clean up and discover what really matters. But most part of people, they just close the door, close down and move away and keep living as before. And it requires courage. It requires so much to dare taking that step and taking the leap of faith. Inner balance seems crucial for your work as an artist. How do you cultivate this balance, and how important do you think it is for business leaders today?
Um, I think it is very important. I think only when we have a balance within ourselves is when we will be able to strike a balance in the outer world. For me, it did happen that I was running way too fast. Even in the world of art, I'm saying, once I took up uh, art as a full-time profession, for the last 10 years, I think from 2010 to 20, I was going way too fast. I think probably another changing point was, the COVID, the lockdowns that happened, which gave us again a lot of time to actually sit back, spend time with our family, maybe to reconnect with ourselves. Again, that made me actually question myself. Why am I probably running too fast? Why not just slow down, be still, and create art, and have a balance with different aspects of your life. It is not only about achieving certain things in certain field, like let's say in art, but then I have a lot of other things also in my life, which is about maybe spending time with your family or with children, or just going for a peaceful walk in the nature to actually appreciate what you have around you. So I think that kind of thought, the moment you have in your head with yourself, is when it will start reflecting with the things that you do. And especially I think for business leaders, I think it is very important, because I believe that will make you a compassionate leader, because as a leader, obviously you'll be working with a lot of people, right? And different person may have a different viewpoints. Now, I as a leader, if I'm way too much about achieving goals, deadlines, and all that stuff, the other person may not be like that. Like he may have a different perspective about the life as such. I mean, life is not only about corporate job or any work that you do. It is much beyond that. So I think the moment we have a balanced view about everything that we have in our life, that nothing is more or nothing is less, I think it's all equal and important, is when I think we'll be able to live a very peaceful life and a balanced life. This is my realization for the last 4 years, so I'm trying to apply this within myself.
It is absolutely incredible that you are sharing so much wisdom, and now we are putting together those deep philosophical questions and even some answers besides, and merging them with the AI questions, because I know you are interested in AI development and your wife is working in the area of IT. So you are having quite many insights about the latest developments. In the fast paced world of AI expansion, how can leaders tap into their creativity to find new solutions and become visionary innovators? What advice would you give to help them reconnect with their inner power and unlock their creative potential? You already mentioned how they could find that balance and why it is important, and everything around that complete picture, to not take out certain pieces and see them as whole meaning with life, which is super important. But what about that creative potential and inner alignment?
I think especially specific to in the corporate world, it is again. I think I already mentioned about it. The fact that to understand and appreciate the fact that each and every individual is special and unique in his or her own way is very crucial. I think the moment we do that, is when you're able to spot that a good thing in a particular person, and then he can actually apply those positive things that he has in his work. In my case, what happened when I worked for a multinational company. Look, I was good in art, right? I was good in creativity, though I was in human resources. The moment my leaders got to know that, okay, this guy is good in art, we started utilizing my artistic abilities in human resources. And I came up with so many new solutions, new initiatives, which became a massive hit. And I was actually sent to different locations in India to apply those things purely from a creative and innovation perspective. That happened only because my ability as an artist, as a creative person, was applied at whatever I was doing. So I think that is one thing, whether you're an engineer, whether you're a teacher, or whatever job that you're doing. But then if you apply your aptitude, you have something in you. I think your work will become more interesting. And I think for leaders to realize in this world of AI, where it is, I think, very easy to get lost in this world, to say that okay, now AI is able to do everything. Yes, it can do a lot of things, but then as a human being, we have this uniqueness which AI may not have, because AI or a certain software or a machine, if I put certain input, it will probably give a similar kind of response throughout the world. At least it will be streamlined that way. But if I give a question to person A sitting here and person A sitting somewhere in the other part of the world, I think the responses from them will be completely different, because that person has a history, his family is different, his background is different, his life experiences are different. So that makes us unique compared to AI, what AI can do. So I think the moment we, as business leaders, have a clear understanding of what AI can do and what it cannot do, and what human resources can bring to the table, is when I think it will be amazing. We'll be able to create wonders. Yeah.
This is incredible. How easily you described exactly the essence of what really matters. Do you believe that AI is going to enhance rather than replace human creativity?
Oh, the first one, for sure. It will not be able to replace human beings as such. Somebody, in fact, asked me recently. I said, well, till the time that they discover, they create a robot that can go on stage and paint in a matter of 2.5 minutes, I'm safe. My job is safe. Till then, no problem with that. But yes, I use Photoshop a lot, because to create digital artworks. And I was going through one of the features recently, and what used to take me like a good 15 to 20 minutes to do that, took just a click of a button. That's it. And I was shocked. Oh my God. This is a new feature. So I think it has made our job easier. But then definitely, it cannot replace my creativity, because now in that design, I know what do I require in the background, or if there is a concept, I know this is how I want that concept to appear on the screen. Of course, I have to maybe put that input to the AI, and AI will be able to give me some ideas around it. If you have a thought, if you have an idea, then you can make use of AI to create something new. I have started using AI in my artworks. In fact, I'm doing a lot of research, talking to my graphic designer friends to learn more about AI and to see how it can improve me or better me as an artist. Definitely, I'm on that path right now. But then, yeah, for the reasons, all the reasons that I told you in the previous questions, AI will not be able to replace creative any of the artists as such.
Amazing. That sounds very positive and promising. As someone who performs live, connecting deeply with your audience, how important are soft skills like resilience and adaptability and emotional intelligence in your creative process?
um, yeah, resilience is very important to start off with. You see this painting behind me. It's a 5 feet massive canvas. When I started doing this as a several years ago, I was not able to complete a painting in even 15 to 20 minutes, and I would do a lot of mistakes. Now, where resilience comes into picture is you do that over and over again and believe that yes, you will be able to do it someday. Now, it's been 20 years I'm doing speed painting on stage, so it's a long journey, and no matter what, the initial few years I didn't get any breakthrough. No television appearances, no appreciation from a lot of people. I was not making money out of the artwork that I was doing at all. So I would spend all my money from the corporate world, what I have learned, to buy paints, to paint, just for my satisfaction. And I had a belief that okay, someday this is going to work. I think that is when your passion, your resilience comes into picture, to be able to go through those rough patches and to believe in yourself. In terms of emotional intelligence, of course, yeah, I think being an artist definitely is an added advantage because it is very therapeutic, and I believe it will make you a better person emotionally. It will, I think, calm you down. It will give you a different perspective about life. And when I am on stage, it is very important also to have a emotional intelligence or stability, because sometimes the audience is very supportive, they're clapping for you, then yes, you are happy, okay, it's going well. Sometimes the audience may not be that cooperative or encouraging. These days, luckily for me, it's all been good experiences. But I remember this was 15 years ago, when I was not known by anybody here in India, because I was not on a television show till then. I was put on stage a massive metal festival, where I was on stage just before lead band from Italy was supposed to perform, and they put me on stage, and the crowd, they actually got angry. There was like 20,000 people who were also, I think, were totally drunk, because there was drinks being served throughout the day. And they actually, I started painting on stage, and they started booing, and they actually went in like synchronized way. I could hear literally what they were telling, and I was like, should I just stop the painting and go off stage, or should I just continue to do what I'm doing? And luckily, I don't know, somehow I decided to stay there, continue to paint. After 2 minutes, the crowd just went quiet, because then in my music, the background, Jimi Hendrix Purple Haze song started blasting. And then slowly they realized, oh my God, he's actually painting Jimi Hendrix. And I turned the canvas upside down, and the entire 20,000 people, they clapped for me, cheered for me. So for me, I think, yeah, it was a great lesson in emotional stability or intelligence. How do you hold on to your nerves and just keep doing what you do?
Very impressive example. And I have to admit, when you started painting one of your paintings at that show,
Yeah.
In the very beginning, I couldn't realize what it is or what it is going to be. And then I figured out that you are going to rotate your painting
Yeah.
upside down in the very end. So it was really surprising and really impressive. And in the beginning of your answer, you also mentioned that you didn't plan to make a lot of money in the beginning, but nowadays I know that you raised so much money for the humanistic causes. Can you tell a little bit more about it?
Yeah, one of the things that I do is apart from performing at corporate shows or television shows, all those events, I perform at a lot of fundraising events or charity gala dinners where I perform and then the artworks will be auctioned right there or maybe later, and the entire proceedings go to a certain cause. So we have raised over 1 million US dollars so far for various causes like maybe treatment of people who have some diseases, like a lot of cancer patients have been treated with this kind of initiatives. I performed for the American Cancer Society, then St. Jude's in USA, and a lot of money has also been raised for the education of children, especially back here in India, in association with a lot of organizations. But this is one thing about raising money which will then help people. There is another thing which I really passionate about, is because I come from a village where I didn't have much exposure growing up back then. I believe that it is my duty to actually go back to that kind of places. Even now in India, we have like remote places, few schools which doesn't have much facilities. Of course, in bigger cities, people are well off, they're leading a good life, but then I want to visit those kind of places and perform for those students, especially small little children, because I want to share my story with them and inspire them and tell them that, look, each one of you is very special. It doesn't matter where you are right now, where you come from, but then you have a vision, you have persistence, you can create amazing things in life. So I have done a lot of shows like that, where of course I don't take performance fee for those kind of shows, because I go from my own interest, go and perform for those kind of children. So I keep doing that. Yeah, and I really love performing for children.
That is so noble and so inspiring as well. I admire you incredibly much. Where do you draw your inspiration from, and how do you get into the flow when creating your art pieces? Let's share some magic. I want to know all the details about it.
Okay. So for me, the biggest inspiration to paint has been nature. Uh, when I was growing up in that village, I could see a beautiful mountain, a river. There was basically beautiful nature all around me. So for me, nature happens to be the biggest inspiration. I believe as an artist, what do we try to capture on our canvas, right? It's all about different colors, it's about composition, it's about the play of light. You talk about any aspect of painting or art, now that is already out there in the nature. You just have to have an eye to look for it and learn from that. So I believe that nature is my biggest teacher and inspiration. And the second biggest inspiration for me is music, because when I perform on stage, there is a music playing in the background, and that inspires me to paint. And I make sure that whatever I'm trying to convey through my paintings, the music has to also be synchronized and has to talk about the same thing. So let's say if I'm painting Michael Jackson, I would rather put some of his beautiful, numbers in the background. So I make sure that it goes hand in hand. And yeah, these two things inspire me a lot.
Amazing. How important is it to connect creativity with purpose to drive both personal and professional success? Speaking about balance, speaking about
Yeah,
the meaning in life, how important do
yeah,
you think it is?
yeah. I think the moment you connect uh, a purpose with your creativity, I think it becomes more meaningful and maybe more long lasting. Otherwise, after a certain stage of reaching success in your craft, you may, kind of feel saturate, like, okay, I have done this is enough. Maybe let me just relax a little bit, take a back seat. I think that is very natural to happen. But then the moment you have a purpose connected with it is when I think, um, yeah, it will add a lot of meaning to your life. For me, it's been like, I just met one young artist yesterday. There was a competition here and he was a winner, and he comes from a different state here in India. I met him yesterday and he told me that he watched my Joker artwork 7 years ago, which I created in one of those reality shows. And he said, when I looked at it, I was in my hometown, and nobody was really encouraging me that, okay, as an artist, I could achieve something. But then watching you paint gave me a lot of confidence. And here I am today. He's working here in Bangalore as a caricature artist, working in one of the companies. So when he narrated that story, now it's again, my creativity, but then it has a purpose, right? What is a purpose for me is to encourage these youngsters, to make them understand that, they are special and they have it in them to actually make it big in life. So that really encouraged me that, oh my god, yes, I have to do more. So I think that was a live example what happened yesterday. It's a beautiful thing to have creativity connected to your purpose.
We definitely need more of those amazing examples, and it is important to spread that light and share your gifts with others. So, thank you so much for doing that. From me and from everybody who might move forward, thanks to those small pushes. We all need a little trigger, a little idea, a little bit of inspiration sometimes, just to take that huge step and reach our dreams. So, to open the doors, we need somebody else's help. And that's why actually I went also towards coaching to support others and to help them finding what really matters for them in their life and come back on track, tap into their inner power and reconnect with their dreams and desires.
Amazing.
How can leaders prepare themselves to succeed in the new reality while staying true to their passion and purpose? Now, let's think about the practical recommendations you can give to everybody who is listening to us and watching this interview. How can they take those steps?
Well, I think it's about the realizations to start off with. I mean, even when I started, I didn't realize maybe this is my purpose in life. For me, of course, the thing was I enjoy painting and I wanted to paint throughout my life. But then, uh, in that journey, I think somewhere down the line, you start to believe or realize, why am I doing this? Or by doing this, how am I impacting the life of people that are surrounded to you, or you may not even know them, but then you're still touching some of those people in your own way. I think the moment you have that realization, I think then you will start consciously doing those things, so that it will probably put a smile on many more people's lives. For me, that has been the journey. I mean, it didn't happen automatically that, okay, I said, oh, this is how I want to do, or maybe I want to inspire youngsters to paint or to follow their passion. No, it didn't happen that way. I followed my passion, but then that happened to be a byproduct. Now when people come and tell me that this is how painting or watching me on stage made them feel, or made them take some of those decisions to follow their passion in their life, or to find a true calling of their life, then I started realizing, okay, maybe this is also one of the message I really want to highlight during my interaction with students. I think in the corporate world, I think it's in a similar way leaders can do that, because each and every person has a different reason to come to office and work, right?
I could keep this conversation going forever. I love so much the wisdom and everything you are sharing with us today. It is absolutely amazing. But it is time to wrap up our today's conversation. And my last question, but one of the most important ones as well. What are your future plans and dreams? I saw you went through the first round in Spain's Got
Yeah.
Talent right now, and you're planning
Yes.
to fly back to Madrid soon. What
Yes.
else? What is your vision? What are your dreams?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to take this art throughout the world, because there's no language barrier, or when it comes to art and music, you can actually touch upon people throughout the world. So for me, that is the purpose right now, and that is the reason why I'm in Europe doing a reality show. And one of my dream has been to perform in at least 100 countries. Now it's been 38. Yeah, I'm still left with another 62 countries. But then apart from that, I want to do more of along with the on the stage live art performances. I also want to do gallery artworks, where I create a lot of conceptual artworks. So I'm actually in that phase right now, where I'm visualizing and trying to create a series of artworks. Hopefully, I'll be able to do my first ever art exhibition. Can you believe I haven't even done a single gallery art exhibition? Because I took a very different path in my life, where for me the art exhibition happens literally every day when I'm performing in front of the people. So yeah, so my goal is also to actually take this live art form even further to many more people, to collaborate with a lot of musicians, perform along with them. I love doing that. It's a beautiful combination of dance, music, and art, and basically to give them people an experience of artist at work, because traditionally painting has been looked upon as something that people go to a gallery to see a finished work of art. But here I want to give people an experience of artist at work, and also make sure that and that even watching an artist paint could also be inspiring and entertaining as well.
The experience you are sharing with the people is absolutely unforgettable. So that sounds very
Thank you.
inspiring and amazing. And I wish you the best of luck with all your plans and goals and dreams. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, Vilas, for sharing so much value, so much inspiration and light with us today. I appreciate you and I admire you as well. Thank you
Thank you
for
so
being
much.
here.
Thank you for having me on your podcast. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on Digital Transformation for Humans. I'm Amy, and it was enriching to share this time with you. Remember, the core of any transformation lies in our human nature, how we think, feel, and connect with others. It is about enhancing our emotional intelligence, embracing a winning mindset, and leading with empathy and insight. Subscribe and stay tuned for more episodes where we uncover the latest trends in digital business and explore the human side of technology and leadership. Until next time, keep nurturing your mind, fostering your connections, and leading with heart.